Phil, feisty, energetic, excited. We saw how he played. What did you take away from what he had to say?
What was interesting to me is how he talked about how he got steery playing on the PGA Tour. This is a player that we're used to seeing free swing it. And I thought that would transfer week in and week out on the PGA Tour, especially at this point in his career when everything at this point is gravy. He's had a tremendous Hall of Fame career. So it was interesting to me that that was one of his goals coming here, was being able to kind of recapture that feeling.
You know, when I heard him say he got steery, I thought he was talking about like cattle, because there's no way a 44-time winner on the PGA Tour gets out there and doesn't know how to swing, especially when he says he's playing great at home. You would think it's second nature, but there's truth to what he's saying, and it shows you how hard golf is, even for somebody like Phil Mickelson. I'm shooting 61, 63 at home, then I go and shoot 3 over at Boston. So, yes, he got to his PGA Tour Champions debut. He free-wheeled it. He had an incredibly great round, and it makes me wonder, let's say he's leading by 1 or 2 going into the final round, the third round, and he's supposed to win. We all think he's going to win. Is he going to feel those nerves? Is that going to make him steery or tight or nervous or playing a little too cautious? You would think not, again, given his pedigree and how many times he's won. But it's interesting, really interesting conversation he had there with Billy Ray.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because it's a trap that so many professional golfers fall into. And for him to have chosen to play in this event, to get those reps and play under the gun, I think that's why when you talk to teachers or you talk to competitive golfers that say, I want to learn how to practice under the gun, I want to simulate those feelings, those cannot be replicated unless you're teeing it up in a tournament, or at least you can try your very best, but you have to learn your tendencies. You have to learn what your body does in those moments. And for Phil, it's obviously a great learning lesson for him, even at this point in his career.
For my last year, 2 years, that's been my point about Tiger Woods. He's coming in rusty. It's going to be tough to bet on him, make him the favorite, even though he's possibly the best of all time. And Phil justifies my feelings on that. Here's the second best golfer of this generation, hands down, saying I'm not taking it from the course at home or the range to the course here. And who's got more experience or who should be more immune to those feelings than Phil Mickelson? But it shows you, Phil fights the same thing that the 8 handicapper at home fights. I left it on the range. I left it at home. I was playing great, but my game didn't hit the road. Well, yesterday might have helped that a little bit. We shall see.
Well, Robert, it sounds like you think Phil Mickelson potentially has something to lose over these next couple of days.
You think so?
You do? I mean, to me, it's almost already a success, considering how well he played yesterday.
Wait,
how he almost found. Is it not already a success in your mind? I'm playing devil's advocate.
I think it is. Because the conversation we had yesterday is what would a successful week be for Phil Mickelson. The fact that he was able to go out there and show what he can do, at least to himself, if not everybody else, to me that's a success. But both of you said that it has to be a win. At this point, because he does have something to lose now, would it still be a success, or does he have to win for it to be a success?
He's Phil Mickelson. I think he does have to. I don't want to see him all of a sudden get steery over these next couple of rounds. Something he said he was fighting. I thought it was wonderful that he kind of let us inside the tent. So I think when you've got this lead, when you've shot 61, when you've hit 17 of 18 greens, when you're driving the par 4 third, you got to put the hammer down now, don't you, Robert? What do you think?
I think that this is, we're missing the forest for the trees here. Of course he wants a trophy. This is about Winged Foot. If he, I don't want to say blows it, but if he loses this, it doesn't help his chances and his confidence going into Winged Foot. If he goes out and dominates these guys, part of us thinks he should. Now, none of us think he's going to win every time he tees it up out there. The competition is just too good. But he's off to a crazy start. He's still in the middle, in his mind, of a PGA Tour career, not a PGA Tour Champions career. This should be just going out, having fun, and stomping on these guys a little bit. And if he doesn't, that hurts his chances at the U.S. Open of at least feeling good, making a good show of things. The way his game has been, it's tough to see him contending at Winged Foot anyway. But, he still wants to. He wants that Grand Slam. And if he doesn't play well these last 2 days, that is going to hurt his chances there.
Well, and I think the biggest takeaway is if somebody beats him, that's one thing. If he beats himself, that's a completely different thing, especially to your point that he's let us in on,
but
the fact that he's struggling.
We might not know. Let's say he's leading by 2 going into Sunday, and he shoots a 67, which is okay, and somebody shoots 63 and beats him. Okay, he lost, but in his mind, he'll know. We won't know. 67 sounds fine. but he'll know, you know what? I was tight on swing A, B, C, and I messed that up. I should have capitalized here, and I messed that up because I was tight. So internally, he's going to know a lot more than we will just watching it.
I just want to know how this golf course, what he just said, is set up like your club championship on a difficult day. How is that going to translate into helping him on the PGA Tour, or more specifically for his needs and Phil's fans' needs, that U.S. Open at Winged Foot?
My interpretation of what he said is, I'm physically fine. I've shot really good scores at home. I'm physically doing great. What's keeping me and what's holding me back is mentally. That's why he's here. He's here to get that sharp. So to me, if he can mentally translate that on the golf course, he'll be fine at Winged Foot because he's physically playing okay.
Love having Phil in the frame, trying to become the 20th player to win his PGA Tour Champions debut.